Troy Polamalu, now a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Look at Troy, joins us now. Troy, congratulations. The most important question is, how's the hair?
It's getting maybe a little bit more gray, but still soft and luscious as possible. So,
Okay, how's your hair going to look on the bust in Canton?
I don't know. We're still really working through that right now. The bust really hasn't. I don't think we've cast anything yet. So, still have a couple more meetings to figure it all out.
But would you do hair down? Would Troy Polamalu do a hair bun?
Most definitely hair down.
Okay.
I very rarely wore it down. So game days were pretty much the only days, and commercial days as well. So most definitely down.
When Ike Taylor called you Baby Jesus, why did he nickname you that?
Honestly, I don't really know. I think a lot of different reasons why, but they just definitely we have so much respect for each other as brothers and as teammates. At times, I maybe served as some of my brother's conscience at times as well. So I'm not sure the reason why exactly.
Do you feel different as a Hall of Famer?
No, to be frank, not really. I'm definitely very grateful and blessed. But to me, it's just really more of a tribute to my teammates. And obviously the great coach and Coach LeBeau and Coach Tomlin, Coach Cowher that I've been a part of. I've been a part of arguably one of the most dominant defensive runs that the game has seen. So just having those sort of great teammates throughout my whole career, it's more or less a tribute to them.
Best player you ever played against?
Wow. There's so many. What's really funny is as later in my career, as I continue to watch more and more football and, watching great receivers, the T.O.s, the Randy Mosses and whatnot, I actually started to be more impressed with myself because I was amazed that I was able to, share the field with some of these tremendous, great athletes. But, there's physical specimens like Calvin Johnson that arguably could have been the most dominant receiver in the history of this game. There's great running backs. Adrian Peterson, there's great quarterbacks. Obviously, Tom and Peyton, Aaron Rodgers. So I've been very, very blessed and fortunate to be able to experience the field against them.
Do you ever think back on that?
I'm sorry. I definitely have to add as well that I played against Jerry Rice. Had opportunity to play against Marshall Falk. So to be able to almost cross a couple generations is pretty awesome as well.
When's the last time you thought back to that draft night when the Steelers traded up? They traded the 27th overall pick, a third and a sixth round. The Chiefs, the Steelers can thank the Chiefs for trading to them because then they took you at like 15 or 16 in that draft, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. It's actually a pretty funny story. I was, obviously went to USC hoping to stay in Southern California, and I get this 412 area code, which is not a Southern California or California area code. And my heart just dropped. I was like, oh, gosh, where in the world am I going to now? So I get this call from Coach Cowher, which is funny because we spent some time together over this last few weeks together. And I was just we were just joking about the fact that, culturally, Pittsburgh is very different from Southern California. And, of course, the weather is as well. But what became a fear of mine truly became a home to me. I had lived in Pittsburgh longer than I'd lived anywhere in my life. My children are born there. So I love that city, and it's dear to my heart.
If you were playing now in your prime, what would you do against Patrick Mahomes?
Man, there's so many. These younger quarterbacks that are coming out are so athletic, so dynamic, and the way they're able to throw and spin the ball, the way that they're able to be have these multi threats, as well as the way the game has evolved and spreading out and all of these different play fakes and misdirections. It's when you defend somebody like Patrick or the quarterback in Baltimore,
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. it's such a team defense, and that's kind of why I go back to the way that we play defense in Pittsburgh. Is, man, it really, I was just one of 11 roles within our defense, and it really took a collective effort to for us to be really successful. So when you talk about these younger talents that are that awesome, that it really would just take a true team defense and a genius like Coach LeBeau to guide us.
How would you have to change with today's hitting in the NFL?
Sometimes you just have the style of play that's within you, and you just kind of have to roll with some of the punches that.
Could you change though?
Whenever you do cross the line? No, yeah, absolutely. As professional athletes, you have to change. It's really tough, but sometimes when you're forced to make conscious decisions, when many things out there are very instinctual, there's definitely a learning process there.
It was back in July of 2012 you joined us, and I asked you how many concussions you had. And you made some headlines. This is a portion of that response that you gave me back then.
I've had, I believe, 8 or 9 recorded concussions. We'll have another conversation after I'm done playing football.
Well, here we are, Troy.
Well, that was so memorable. I totally forgot the number and the conversation. I'm joking.
How many concussions do you think you had?
Yeah, the same number.
Okay.
To be honest, I didn't have any more after that I can recall of. But I will definitely say that the lifestyle that you live while playing football is definitely devoted to health and wellness, and doing everything possible to keep not only your body, your joints and all that healthy, but your brain healthy, your cognitive functions healthy. So my lifestyle hasn't changed since I was done playing. I've been proactive in health and wellness, eating correctly, hydrating, doing cognitive brain games and these sort of things. So I, thank God, haven't had any sort of issues up to this point. But I definitely attribute that, of course, to blessings, but the fact that I've been very aggressive towards, maintaining a health and wellness program since my playing days.
What would you tell a 21, 22-year-old Troy Polamalu?
Oh man, honestly, nothing. I'm so grateful for everything that I've experienced in my life, my children, my wife. I truly am really grateful, and at times I feel like maybe I don't live my life to a degree of gratitude that I've been fortunate enough to have. But I honestly would maybe just say take it all in, appreciate more of the process. Throughout the whole grind for me, I didn't take any vacations till I retired. Wow. For example, and now, we have these sort of opportunities with my wife and my children, but I probably would have taken maybe a vacation here and there, throughout my career to provide a little bit more balance. But to this day, I'm truly grateful for all the experience that I've had.
When's the last time you wanted to hit somebody, tackle somebody?
Oh man, that last game, I really don't miss the game or being on the field at all. I was fortunate enough to watch the Super Bowl as well, which was the first live football game that I'd experienced that I didn't play in. So I didn't really miss that at all. The things that I do miss were like of course, the locker room banter, just being around the guys. But from a personal note, it was just training. I really, really enjoyed, devoting, as a job for myself to just work on myself, to being a better football player, to getting healthy, to being mentally and emotionally balanced, and really being paid for that. Now I have to kind of squeeze in my workouts, like between dropping off my kids in school and doing whatever errands I need to do for my wife and for the house we live in. So it's not so much of a priority, but it's definitely something that I do every day.
Every time I talk to you, I say the same thing, or when people hear you on the show, they say the same thing. If I didn't know what you did for a living, I certainly couldn't tell by your voice.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't sing at all. It's this soft voice. It leads to any.
But if you didn't
sort
play
of
football,
function.
what would you be? What would you have done?
I don't know. I think the beautiful thing about football is that the skill set that requires you to be a good football player could really transfer to anything. And that's what I'm starting to figure out now is that, this sort of dedication to hard work, the sacrifice, the sort of commitment, using these qualities of teammates and leveraging each other to attain a certain goal. These sort of qualities really can transfer to anything. So I maybe could say that I didn't matter if I wanted to be a doctor or to be a lawyer or to be, a baseball player. I felt like, the attributes that help you to be a good football player transfer.
I just feel like I'd walk into a surf shop or a skateboard shop and you'd be there behind the counter.
Oh yeah, that could be me. Anything from, well, I definitely enjoy the wave surfing. Currently live in San Diego. Love snowboarding. Definitely like being part of the outdoors and pretty much doing anything that's outdoorsy, anything that requires some sort of challenge, and anything my kids enjoy as well.
Troy, congratulations. We appreciate the relationship over the years, making yourself available to come on the program, and we always learn something when you come on. So thank you very much, and happy birthday coming up, I believe, in April.
Oh, thank you. Look forward to our following conversation to the trilogy here.
All right. Thank you, Troy. That's Troy Polamalu, going into the Hall of Fame, turns 39 in April.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.